What if Civilization Started Over? Episode 2. So let's just jump straight into it. So the first thing we're going to look at, let me turn back on the rivers. So the first thing we're going to look at is obviously the connection of exploration by the Danish and the Red Team. And we're going to see the Red Team explore more of Spain. I know there's mountains here, but I'm just gonna ignore them. And they're gonna discover this river right here, which I don't know what's the name of. Then they're also gonna discover one of the Balearic Islands. And while they're gonna discover the second one, while this country is exploring here on this coast, something bad's gonna happen for the Red Team. As the Red Team, as you can see, it's a big nation, but it has reached its limit. As the Red Team has reached its full-on limit of expansion. People are don't liking how big the country is, how poor governed the areas that are just claimed are. People are tired, and that's gonna lead to a number of rebellions. Let's look at how many rebellions are these. We're going to see a large number of rebellions, but some of these rebellions won't stay one country. As you see here, as you can see, all of these areas are going to rebel. Some of these nations are not gonna stay one country because. So we're going to see the British are tired of being under the French, and they're not gonna rest, as they're gonna blast. The British aren't gonna stand with being under the English, the French, so they're gonna start moving through this area. This is a united front, so they're not gonna break up after the war. Wait, let me just change. Let me make it fully blue and turn on this. As British troops will move through these areas of northern Scotland and start moving through, and also they will connect up with one of their factions, fully capturing Wales right here, and they will capture this major city and be stopped at this river right here, which that's because there's a large sum of troops protecting this area, it's because this area was like the first area that was ever colonized by the French. So we're going to see French troops move through and capture the second faction. But after the French were mostly focusing on this area because this area rebelled first. But after these areas rebelled and started moving down this river, connecting up to their factions, and also this Catalonian faction right here started moving as quick as possible, managing to connect up to their full factions. Even this purple faction right here started moving as the Red Team's ally. As the Red Team actually has no allies, but the Red Team's friends, the other countries, are seeing this, and they're going to see this as a bad thing for their population, as this country is very unstable. As the Swedish population sees, okay, rebellion is possible. But since after the Red Team sees this is actually happening, we're going to see the Red Team move a lot of troops from England, and that will lead to the full capturing of the English area right here. And the English are going to talk peace with the Red Team, saying, okay, we'll take all of England and you can focus on this area right here. as the red team are going to take that immediately, as they will manage to push back a little bit against this group right here, because this is the weakest group. The purple team is probably the strongest in this entire area right here. As the yellow team, seeing how smart the blue team is doing, what the blue team is doing to the red team, will also talk peace to the red team, saying we'll just take these areas and leave you alone. As the red team will take that and also fully capture this country's capital. And since their main two areas has been fully captured, we're going to see the other areas just go back to the red team. And also this country, yeah, will be fully occupied, which is a pretty bad thing for the red team right here, as they will now focus most of their focus on to the purple team, which the purple team, after seeing that red team troops are blasting into us, are going to make a proposition. After the red team gets here, we're just gonna take areas. You can take the northern areas, and we're also gonna gain our independence, as these areas this area will be halfly captured, which that area was probably what was going to be a capital of the country. So now let's look at the civil war of the red team's peace treaty. So this will be the peace treaty of the red team's civil war, and it's not as bad, as the red team is still pretty strong, but as they didn't lose any major territories or any big important territories, as they only lost about, this was the only big major territory that they lost. These others were excess territory, but they still have a way to expand into Spain. But we're going to see, after this, we're going to see the red team will try to consolidate and stabilize their country even more, not to have another big rebellion. Then after the stabilization is fully done, we're just gonna see more exploration of Spain, where they're now gonna focus, as the red team right here will now mostly focus on the main exploration of Spain down the coast, because that's where they can explore. But Catalonia will explore much more of the eastern coast, and they will find something big, and they'll move more, finding a major city, move even more, finding more, move even more, finding more stuff. Then after that, they're gonna fully ask the locals here, as they still do have the language barrier. Okay, how big is this? As they're gonna tell, the locals are going to tell that this country looks like, we're going to see Spain officially be fully split up, as the Andalusian nation will claim most of the Spanish areas. I was saying the Andalusian nation will gain most of the Spanish areas, as this new country will gain a few, the areas they just claimed, and a few areas on the main parts. But Andalusia will also expand on the coast here, expanding greatly, but not that much, as this Moroccan colony of theirs is very unstable. As this area was forcefully conquered by the Andalusians, as this area, the history of this area was that there was many nations that used to be here, and then they went down, forcefully conquered here. But now the other areas, as the English would just fully capture Scotland, which is kind of a risky move, as this very unstable, as the Italians, with the Nepalese, not the Italians, will make a pretty big African colony right here on Carthage's coast, and also fully claim Malta. But and then they will also make a large colony that runs in most of the Adriatic coast right here, which is pretty big, as this will be not all that we see. As the red team, the purple team is definitely cut off from expansion, as they are covered by these mountains right here. So we're going to see a large sum of expansion by the red team, as they will not claim the mountains. The green team will also do a very large sum of expansion, as the red team will also expand by this river right here, which will lead the red team's colony to looking like this, which is pretty big for them, as the red team, this is even bigger than the extent when they had this area. So maybe they didn't learn their lesson from the last expansion, as we're going to see. But when this country was claiming territories, a war was fought as very quickly, and this war led to the Cyan. It's just practically the same cow. This war led to the full independence of Scandinavia. I couldn't cover this more, but Scandinavia is now an independent territory, since the people that discovered this area were Swedish, so they will cut off the Danish from claiming this territory. But before I give them a capital, they will expand a lot, and they will make a colony up here in Lithuania, modern day Lithuania, and Estonia right here, which is like the full nation, as this is pretty big for the country. These areas won't be claimed because they want a separation between the two nations, as the Danish and the Canadians are not allies. As the Scandinavians here will put their capital on this eastern major city right here, as that's gonna end this episode of What If Civilization Started Over. If you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing. We are currently on 10 subscribers. Our goal is to 50 subscribers. I hope we can do it. Thank you for watching, and thanks for the support in episode 1 of the series, and goodbye.